Chapter 85, Move into Kafko Seaview, get a Riverview mansion for $250 million.
Please order the complete order in flowers. After getting off the plane, Luo Yang returned directly to the Shanghai headquarters. After leaving Shanghai for more than a week, Luo Yang actually felt like things were different and people were different. After returning to the office, Luo Yang first dealt with the backlog of matters accumulated this week. By the time he was finished, it was already the next morning. During this period, all aspects of Baichen Technologies business are still developing steadily, and several overseas countries have followed the United States and joined the ranks of blocking Baichen Technology. On the contrary, the fruit companies that Luo Yang is most concerned about, as well as major foreign giants such as Microsoft Corporation,
have not made any big moves, but like Luo Yang, the United States is not a troublemaker. Calm waters often mean a bigger storm is brewing.
Speaking of which, Xinjiang was the place where I first rose to prominence, but it turned out that I bought a house in Beijing first.
As expected, things are so changeable. Luo Yang was a little emotional. This trip to the capital can be said to have been fruitful. Here in Shanghai, we can't delay buying a house any longer, buy it as soon as possible. Luo Yang notified Linya, and Linya had already made an agreement with Kafko Seaview and could view the house at any time. The bulletproof Hongqi car belonging to Luo Yang drove from Baichen Technology to the Bund CBD. The distance between the two was very close, and it didn't take long to reach the destination of the trip. A senior person in charge of the real estate had already informed the security guard at the door, and the car drove into the community smoothly. Zero is a well-known luxury community on the Bund. Kafko Harborview is directly on par with Thompson Harborview, and its housing prices are also comparable. As a veteran real estate giant, Thompson Harborview has a higher occupancy rate than Kafko Harborview. Luo Yang feels that the system in Fei Lu's novel must have been opened by Thompson Epine, because the system only requires one bonus property, and 9 out of 10 properties are Thompson Epine. In fact, most of the houses in Thompson Epine are rented out. Because they are close to Shanghai CBD, many executives of foreign companies live here. For the real rich, Thompson Epine is just one of the many properties under their name, and not everyone likes the Riverview. For some middle-aged and elderly people with rheumatic joint pain, a house by the river is actually not that good. Friendly, however, Luo Yang also took a fancy to Kafko Seaview's low occupancy rate. He didn't like to be disturbed by other people. The car was parked in the underground garage, and through the independent elevator, Luo Yang and his party went directly to the destination of their trip. A senior person in charge of the real estate project was already waiting outside the elevator with a female secretary.
"Hello, Mr. Luo." The appearance of Luo Yang made the person in charge named Sun's eyes light up. The rich man finally appears.
"Let's go, show me the house first."
"Okay, Mr. Luo. Please come with me."
"Xiao Zhang, you will lead the way."
"Okay." The female secretary named Zhang, wearing a black uniform, turned around and opened the door to the room. Facing the door is a custom-made double door with a cost of 5 million. This door can be said to be very strong, with multiple unlocking methods, fingerprints, pupils, passwords, keys, etc. Entering the door, you are greeted by a spacious and luxurious hall. Luo Yang's first reaction was to compare it with Lao Wang's luxurious villa in Beijing. This Riverview mansion, priced at 320 million, is comparable in size and decoration to Lao Wang's villa. "Look, Mr. Luo, because it is a duplex building, this house directly contains the 30th and 31st floors, with an overall construction area of 1,200 square meters. The height of a single floor is more than 3 meters, and the visual effect is very good. This apartment has a complete view of the river on the Bund. On the other side, you can see Shanghai City Center Building, Jinmao Building, and Shanghai Pearl TV Tower. To put it bluntly, Mr. Luo, you can see your own windows in any documentary about Shanghai." Secretary Zhang's voice was very crisp and his words were clear, and he led everyone around the house. There are many bedrooms, including an office, fitness area, leisure area, library, kitchen, nanny's room, etc. It has everything that a luxury house should have. There are also supporting underground garage parking spaces. The overall decoration is mainly white and light yellow, which is comfortable and luxurious but not dazzling. The furniture of the mansion are all internationally renowned brands. After Luo Yang visited the whole house, he found that this house seemed to satisfy him even more than Lao Wang's capital villa.
That's it. I like the house very much. Please make an offer."
"I am very satisfied with all aspects of the house, and then there is the issue of price.
Mr. Luo, the company knows that you want to buy this house and attaches great importance to it, because the presence of a top customer like you is actually a good publicity for us. The company's external quotation is 320 million, but if you want to buy it, the company can directly reduce it to 100 million for you. Luo Yang leaned on the large sofa and raised his eyebrows. It's only worth 20 million for my sake? Mr. Sun suddenly felt embarrassed. How should he answer this? Linya opened her mouth at the right time and said, Mr. Sun, we don't want to be pretentious, the price is 250 million for 10, we can pay the full price directly. Mr. Sun's face turned dark. One knife cost 50 million, Luo Yang was also smiling. The psychological price that Linya told him before was 280 million, but now he found out that Kofco intended to make it 20 million cheaper, so he directly cut the price to 2.5/c. What a diligent and thrifty little expert. Well, 250 million is too low. Mr. Luo and assistant Lin, these are the kings of the building. The average price of a 600 square meter house with a sea view in Kofco starts at 200,000 yuan per square meter. You directly lowered it to 260,000 square meters per square meter for me. It is indeed a bit inappropriate. Mr. Sun, if you don't tell secrets, if we, Mr. Luo, hadn't decided to buy a brand new duplex mansion, we would never have come here. Linya was very strong, the Thompson Eping next door, Huangpu Bay across from Beichen Building, and Jolie on the Bund. There are many qualified second-hand houses, and the overall price is only about 200 million. Although Mr. Luo is not short of money, I won't pay tens of millions more for this. Mr. Luo, let's go. I'll take you to Thompson Eping next door. I have made an appointment with the person in charge of Thompson. As long as you are satisfied, we can sign the contract directly. Luo Yang and Linya stood up and pretended to leave. Seeing the two of them about to leave, cold sweat broke out on Mr. Sun's forehead. If Luo Yang, a wealthy man, is really allowed to leave, he will probably be scolded to death by his superiors, because as Mr. Sun said, Kofco intends to make friends with Luo Yang, and Luo Yang's arrival is indeed a good publicity. When others know that Luo Yang has settled in Kofco Seaview, the occupancy rate will be greatly improved. This is also a clever move by Kofco Seaview to increase its occupancy rate and catch up with Thompson Yipin next door. House prices will definitely rise by then, and if you sell a few more units, you can make back today's losses. Mr. Luo, please stay. Mr. Sun hurriedly called out to Luo Yang. Please give me a moment and I'll ask for instructions from above. Then hurry up. We, Mr. Luo, just came back from the capital yesterday and haven't had time to have a good rest yet. Okay, I'll do it as soon as possible. Mr. Sun got up and went to another hall to make a phone call, leaving young secretary Zhang to entertain Luo and Yang. 10 minutes later, Mr. Sun walked out relieved. Mr. Luo, the boss has already agreed, just 250 million. Deal. I will send someone to inspect the house in a while. If there are no problems, I will pay. Okay. Li Chang led Beichen security personnel and began to use professional equipment to check every corner of the room. By noon, Li Chang had already led people to complete the inspection, and there was no problem. Jiao Yunhai also showed up again. After confirming that the contract was okay, Luo Yang signed his name and paid the full amount of 250 million. This money goes to the company's account, which is regarded as an advance payment of some dividends. When the accounts are reported at the end of the year, the finance department will pay the corresponding dividend tax according to the method of advance payment of dividends to shareholders. Otherwise, all the 250 million in Luo Yang's personal account will be used to pay for a house, and Luo Yang will really become a pauper. After the matter was completed, Mr. Sun and Secretary Zhang also said goodbye and left. And Luo Yang also immediately asked Linya to buy a new set of daily necessities and move in here directly. From today on, this duplex with Kofco Ocean View, originally priced at 320 million yuan, belongs to his name. The dinner was delivered directly from a 5-star hotel. Li Chang and the others had already left. Only Luo Yang and Linya were left in Nuada's room. Luo Yang decided to further break the relationship between the two tonight. Chapter 86. Show your feelings and officially hold hands. Semiconductor Business Group is established. The Bund at night is full of lights and feasting. Standing on a high place and looking down at all the living things below, it makes people feel like everything in the world is in the palm of their hand. This is probably why many rich people like to live in high-rise buildings. The dinner delivered by the hotel also thoughtfully provided red candles, which turned the meal into a romantic candlelight dinner. The scenery is beautiful and the people are even more beautiful. Luo Yang opened a bottle of red wine and handed Linya a glass. The two didn't say much. From the initial expression of their feelings in the state guesthouse, to later holding hands and meeting their parents again, the matter between the two should have a conclusion. Xiaoya, are you willing to be my girlfriend? Luo Yang looked at Linya with a rosy face and formally expressed his feelings. Die in the Huangpu River outside the window. The 470 whistle sounded at the right time. Linya seemed to have a premonition of something, and her face turned red to her ears. I do. The sound is quieter than that of a mosquito. Luo Yang walked to Linya's side and kissed her. The next day, Luo Yang woke up from a comfortable big bed. Hey. Luo Yang suddenly giggled. After 2 lifetimes combined, I have been single for more than 30 years, and now I finally get rid of my single status. Both of their mobile phones have been set to be turned off. Unless something big happens, no one can stop Luo Yang's determination not to go to work today. Of course, Linya also missed work. This time, Luo Yang slept until the afternoon. The orange-red light of the setting sun shone warmly on the windows, reflecting the beautiful luxurious decoration in the house. The two of them enjoyed the beautiful scenery together. I lie drunk on the knees of a beautiful woman, wake up and take over the world. The ancients will not deceive me. It's all your fault. People in the company will definitely gossip today. Luo Yang took a breath, and Linya pinched his waist directly. Compared with yesterday, the relationship between the two has made tremendous progress. It's okay. I made arrangements yesterday for us to go on a business trip for 3 days. No one will disturb us during this period. The two of them stayed in the bedroom all day long. When they got up the next day, Luo Yang felt that his waist was hurting. He stood up and opened the curtains, looking at the Shanghai city center building in the distance. The golden sunlight shrouded the high-rise buildings in the distance. Luo Yang was filled with heroic spirit. I have a career, I have money, I have a house, and now I have a girlfriend. I feel like my life has reached its peak. I will start the new headquarters project later, and the project will not be open to bid at that time. The headquarters project will be handed over to your Lin's real estate. This is my first gift to my father-in-law. The two have established a relationship and made further breakthroughs. Naturally, Luo Yang has to start thinking about the subsequent arrangements. Linya whispered that she was very happy that Luo Yang wanted to get closer to her old father. At that time, Wanda will be responsible for developing the employee dormitory building, and the headquarters and science and technology park will be handed over to your Lin's real estate. The next thing is to communicate with Shanghai City and win the first prize, land and approval procedures. Have you figured out where the land is? The company's later business will add semiconductor and graphene laboratories. Considering semiconductors, I want to set the headquarters in the Shanghai Science and Technology Development Zone, but most of the places here have already been planned. Then what should we do? Should we consider further places? I considered these issues and finally settled on a large piece of land to the north of Shanghai Microelectronics. According to Shanghai's original plan, this area was used as residential land. The original plan was to build a high-end villa area, which would then be integrated with the west. The villa areas are connected together. However, after I reported the semiconductor layout plan to the superiors have decided to change the planning of this land and assign it to Beikong Technology as the new headquarters location. This will be an important base for Beichin Technology's semiconductor business. Xincheng should have been notified by the above, and I will contact Shanghai to discuss specific matters. It wasn't until the 3rd day that the two finally left here. Beichin Technology finally welcomes the return of its big boss. Mr. Luo, Shanghai Microelectronics has reached an agreement. Beichin Technology will occupy 46% of the equity, with a cumulative capital injection of 950 million yuan, while Shanghai High-Tech will occupy 3% of the equity, with a cumulative capital injection of 62 million yuan. After the financing is completed, we will obtain a director's seat and a supervisory board seat. At the same time, Xincheng Microelectronics will reach a strategic cooperation with the Semiconductor Department of Beichin Technology. Now that the plan has been finalized, the Ministry of Finance will directly transfer the funds after your approval. Han Feng reported the latest situation immediately. After Luo Yang checked it carefully, he formally signed his name. Okay, let's follow this plan.
With this investment, Baichen Technology's layout in the semiconductor industry is basically completed. Baichen Technology will register a wholly owned subsidiary, whose name was determined by Luo Yang as Future Semiconductor. The company is mainly engaged in the semiconductor business and has three major departments, namely the EDA Software Development Department, the Chip Architecture Development Department, and the Chip Design Department. The company's initial registered capital reached 1 billion yuan. Luo Yang picked up another report from Zhou Hao, director of the Personnel Department, which disclosed the progress of poaching graphene technical talents. There are already plans for the establishment of a graphene laboratory. Zhou Hao is currently poaching people around the world, poaching many senior technical talents from well-known graphene laboratories. Most of these talents have already gathered in China, most of them have not signed a non-competition agreement with the original unit or the agreement has expired. 4.4 As long as you join Baichen Technology, you can quickly get into work mode. The location of the graphene laboratory will be established together with the new headquarters. By then, Future Semiconductor, Graphene Laboratory, and Shanghai Microelectronics, which has taken a stake, will form a semiconductor business group, with Luo Yang serving as president of the business group for the time being. After the breakthrough in graphene technology, the semiconductor business group will be further expanded to create a complete graphene industry chain. At this point, Baichen Technology already has a large group of people, covering business in the three major fields of software, internet, and semiconductors respectively. Luo Yang has also contacted Shanghai City. This afternoon, the two parties will have further communication on the location of the new headquarters. Chapter 87, 6 billion to build Shanghai's new headquarters. Net profit in the fourth quarter surpassed that of fruit companies. 1/7, in the afternoon of the same day, Luo Yang formally met with representatives sent by Shanghai City. Mr. Luo, we have received orders from above to replan the development use of this land, and 1/2 of the area has been changed from residential land to industrial land. The area near the south side is industrial land, which can be used as the location of your company's headquarters building and technology park. The north side is still residential land, which can be used to build employee dormitories. According to your request, the surrounding area of this land will no longer be included in the area to be developed, but will be reserved for other semiconductor industries to settle in. The other party directly brought a map, which detailedly marked the area, plan use, and development status of the land. The land allocated to Baichen Technology is 1,000 meters long and 600 meters wide, with a total land area of 600,000 square meters. At the same time, in order to retain Baichen Technology and create a city card of the semiconductor capital, Shanghai City also gave a huge discount to the price of this land. In the end, it only cost 600 million to acquire all the 600,000 square meters of land. The area designated for residential use reaches a full 250,000 square meters, which will be divided into 4 phases to build employee dormitories. With such a large area, Luo Yang is not prepared to hand over all of it to Wanda for development. At least 2 phases of it will be reserved for Lin Real Estate. Lin 04 Real Estate also has rich experience in real estate development, and this cooperation will be done by Lin Real Estate. An important step for real estate's leap from Suzhou to Shanghai. In addition to the huge employee dormitory complex and supporting schools, a new headquarters building and a technology industrial park also need to be built. The design of the headquarters building is temporarily to be determined, and the science and technology industrial park is mainly reserved for the future graphene industry. By then, the entire graphene industry chain will be centered here and spread to the surrounding areas. During this meeting, the two parties directly finalized a cooperation agreement. Luo Yang held a senior management meeting and announced the decision to build a new headquarters. Damn it, 600,000 square meters of land. Most people were shocked, because it is also a semiconductor company strongly supported by Shanghai, the domestic chip foundry company Lungsan International. The area of its headquarters and supporting employee community is about the same as the land of Baichen Technology. This is land reserved for the semiconductor and graphene industries and cannot be used for other planning. This is clearly written in the agreement. Luo Yang dismissed everyone's other ideas. You must know that this piece of land is in the Shanghai High-Tech Development Zone, surrounded by well-known companies. Not far away is the Shanghai Software Park. If a business center can be built here, just collecting rent will be a big deal. It's a pity that it can't be used for commercial use. The construction of the new headquarters is expected to invest 6 billion yuan. 1.5 billion of which will be used to develop employee dormitories, divided into 4 phases, and will be jointly developed with Wanda and Lin's real estate. The remaining 4 billion will be used for construction headquarters building, semiconductor industrial park, graphene laboratory. 60/Z, everyone present was shocked again. If they hadn't known that the company had so much money, everyone present might have thought of resigning and running away. Baichun Technology is already a technology giant as famous as Microsoft, so the construction of the new headquarters cannot be too stingy. By then, Baichun building will be used as the daily office area of the headquarters, and will be co-located with the new headquarters in the east and west. After the construction of the Xincheng headquarters is completed, the construction plan for the second headquarters in Beijing will be launched. At present, I have communicated with the superiors, and the superiors will reserve a piece of land for Baichun Technology, located in the prime location of Zhongguancun Software Park. It's just that this piece of land will not be officially allocated to us until Baichun Technology completes the construction of the Xincheng headquarters, and the price will also be greatly discounted. Whoa whoosh, everyone applauds. During Mr. Luo's trip to the capital, I didn't expect the goods received to be so big. Not only has the layout of the semiconductor industry been completed, but the locations of the 2 major headquarters in Shanghai and Beijing have been finalized in one fell swoop. Even the land has been secured. I heard that Mr. Luo also bought a courtyard house. Good guy, this time Mr. Luo directly became the biggest winner in life. Everyone was talking a lot at this moment. The next step is to invite bids for the design of the company's new headquarters. This matter is left to the Public Relations Planning Department. Baichun Technology faces the global design industry and invites bids for the design of the headquarters building and industrial park. The initial cost range is 4 billion. If it exceeds the standard, we will discuss it later. Okay, Mr. Luo. The construction of the company's new headquarters has boosted the morale of the entire Baichun Technology. After the meeting ended, Luo Yang asked for the latest business data. As of November 28, the global installed base of Baichun computer systems has exceeded 450 million units. The installed capacity of systems in China has skyrocketed from 240 million units on November 15 to 395 million units now. In 13 days, the average daily increase is 12 million units. The installed capacity in overseas markets has also increased by 5 million units in these 13 days, and the total installed capacity overseas is 55 million units. The daily newly installed capacity during this period was slightly lower than the previous 13.33 million units, which was within Luo Yang's expectations. After all, it is impossible to continue to show explosive growth. After the previous popularity of Baichun Technology has passed, the installed capacity of the system will temporarily decline from the peak. The current 12 million units are already performing very strongly. During the past half-month, all major official departments, enterprises and institutions, etc. have launched training on the use of Baichun computer systems. Currently, batch replacements have begun. According to background statistics, in this half-month, 12 million business version Baichun systems have been activated. These 450 million Baichun computer system users, after deducting taxes and various handling fees, have brought 146 billion in revenue to Baichun Technology. As for Baichun Office software, the total number of activations has reached 70 million, and the after-tax income has reached 21.024 billion yuan. Baichun server system has been activated, 2 million sets, with an after-tax income of 800 million yuan. Baichun database is estimated to have 5 million users and an after-tax income of 1.3 billion yuan. All 4 major businesses of the software division have achieved profitability. From August 8 to November 28, the company's cumulative after-tax net profit was 179.1 billion yuan. After deducting the company's various expenses totaling 37.1 billion, the company's account currently has 142 billion in cash. Huge cash of 142 billion, the equivalent real-time exchange rate is $21.5 billion US. In just 4 months, Baichun Technology already has a cash reserve of $21.50 billion. It has reached 1/6 of Microsoft's cash reserves. Among the 4 months, the fastest growth rate was undoubtedly November. Although the fourth quarter was only halfway through, the net profit in October and November alone had already reached 110.7 billion yuan, or about 16.77 billion yuan.
In 2019, the fruit company's net profit in the fourth quarter was only $13.686 billion US. Based on this ranking alone, Baechin Technology has surpassed the fruit company and ranks second in the world. In the ranking of the world's top 500 companies, it is second only to Saudi Aramco's quarterly net profit. Baechin Technology is so scary.